You may have heard of something called net carbs, which is quite simply put where you take a total carbohydrate, subtract the amount of fiber, and then you have the net carbohydrates. This is a big time focus for people who do ketosis or low carb living, and it's very interesting. And here at Power Foods Lifestyle, we have a different mentality around it than the traditional approach, which is to get excited over, oh, look, there's only 4 grams net carbs. Yay, we can have more of it. Or it opens the door for a greater food variety. Yeah, absolutely it does. But I would like to explain a few things you need to know. And again, this is about you coming to a conclusion of what's best for you. So let's first look at what classifies fiber, because there's 2 types of fiber. Soluble fiber is going to absorb and dissolve in water. And so this is going to, it often thickens things up. For instance, barley, if you put that in a soup and it makes that really thick. You see it with corn as well. Look at beans in a can, because it's absorbing the water and it takes the water into a little bit more of like a pasty thickness. So that's what soluble fiber is, and very, very needed in your diet for sure. Insoluble fiber also is needed because it's not dissolvable, it's not absorbable. It actually is going to help bulk up your stool or your poop. Basically, it's going to help it move through the colon so you can be regular. So if we are missing either one of those types of fiber, we're either A, not going to be absorbing all the nutrients we need, or B, we're probably going to experience some constipation. So the part about the whole net carb debate that I'm not a fan of is that we're not taking into consideration when we subtract the fiber, what type of fiber. And so while it's basically called impact fiber. So high impact fiber, basically if it's going to impact your blood sugar or not. And so here's the real fact is fiber has not yet come to conclusive data in all the research and studies. It's currently being tested a ton, its impact on blood glucose, metabolic capacity. And so without those finite answers, as goes in the nutrition world, we are left to come to our own conclusions. So here at Power Foods Lifestyle, let me tell you the reason I don't like net carbohydrates. And then this will help you think if that's something you need to consider too. Number 1, I feel like it opens us up to create a crutch. So let's take, for instance, somebody who is in a low carb way of eating, and we're focusing more on proteins, veggies, and fats. And then you see some noodles and they are marketed as only 5 grams of net carbs, but the total carbohydrates like 30 grams of carbs. And you're like, well, so technically is that a C in the Power Foods Lifestyle, or is that not a C? And it can be very confusing if we are creating crutches around the types of foods we're going to bring into our diet, or the choices we're making. If we're trying to psychologize ourselves into like, oh, I can have more and do more and experience these varieties, I feel like we're missing the boat. The way we eat really should come down to simplicity in we're choosing healthy foods from the earth. When you're choosing foods from the earth, this discussion of net carbs versus total carbs, it is still significant in ketosis, and we'll talk about that with vegetables, but most of the big time total carbohydrate foods that are being marketed as low carb foods, that debate goes out the door. So I just want you to be careful, because I'm here to help you get results. I want you to achieve the anti-inflammatory, the fat burning, the brain boosting impacts of living a very healthy and strategic lifestyle. And if we are thinking we're eating a low carb diet while we're probably getting some impact on our blood glucose levels, and we're not choosing the foods that are best helping us, my question to you is, how is that helping you? How is that mindset of looking for those net carbs serving you? How is that making you help make healthier choices? If on some level it's serving you, maybe that is something for you. Maybe it's okay to do once in a blue moon. Maybe it's okay if you feel you're on that breaking point of, I just need something, and this brownie mixed with 3 grams of net carbs because of all of its sugar alcohols it's looking like a good choice for me. Thank you so much for watching. Here at Body Buddies and the Power Foods Lifestyle, my goal is to empower you with a completely new way of approaching your nutrition, your fitness, and your mindset. Come check out my starter kit over at powerfoodslifestyle.com, where I'm going to give you my book, the audio version of my book. I personally read it, 3 of my recipe books, 6 starter sample meal plans, and the Power Foods list. This is a great place to get started into strategic eating. Also, be sure to check out the Body Buddies podcast and subscribe. There, I will help you bridge the gap between the science of optimality in your nutrition and fitness and the reality of your day-to-day life, emotion, psychology, and being a busy person. So I invite you to come on this learning journey with me. Let me empower you and give you the tactics, the strategy, and the psychology to be able to make some lasting, sustainable shifts in your life, in your body, and the way you feel about yourself.